I'm Kasasagi, Sagi, and I am here with more Final Fantasy XIV. So, we are hopping right into patch 5.2 because we have much to do and not a lot of time to do it. So, no chitter chatter for me. We're just questing. Just questing. Kryle is glad for your return, though it remains to be seen if she has glad tidings to share. Akali! My, what a pleasant surprise! If you've come to inquire after the Archons, fear not. Master Matoya's treatment has proven effective in stabilizing their corporeal aether. We mustn't grow complacent, however, potent though these magics may be. I don't think I did. I meant to. Aw, beans. No, it actually says we're still playing Darkest Dungeon. How could I do this? I changed all the banners for Endwalker and then did not actually do anything else. Fantasy 14. Oh no. There we go. Well, it is what it is. One day. We mustn't grow complacent, however. Potent though these magics may be, they are not without limits. We can only hope they afford us enough time for the Crystal Exarch to complete his work. If only we could go with you to the First and help. Pardon the interruption. I come bearing urgent news. Akali, it's been far too long, my friend. Forgive me, I don't believe we've been formally introduced. Maxima, former Garlean ambassador, I remain here in Eorzea under the auspices of Commander Alden, offering what counsel I can in the hopes of resolving the present conflict within the Empire. Ah yes, I have heard stories of a defector from Garlemald, but never mind that. You said you have urgent news. Indeed, as you may have heard, the Imperial capital is in turmoil, and a sizable portion of the Garlean forces have been recalled from Gimel Dark. With their numbers so greatly diminished, the main host of the Alliance has withdrawn, leaving the Alamegan resistance to keep watch over the border. And it is there we have welcomed a most unexpected visitor who claims that this de-escalation may belly growing dangers and unforeseen threats. Commander Alden has arranged for an impromptu meeting to discuss these revelations. He has also requested a representative of the Scions attend as well, though it was clear to whom he wished I extend this invitation. It would seem time is of the essence. Well, you'll not be attending this meeting alone. Though I am not as well versed in the affairs of city-states as our comrades, I see no reason to burden a single scion with all of this. Yes, of course. We must make for the Alamegan quarters with all haste. Well, what are you waiting for? Get going, you two! Don't worry about the others. I'll keep an eye on them while you and Kryle are away. I think this is all about... Oh no, Colony A is here. No Ori Boulder though? With Ryle out in the field, I was asked to return to make up for his absence. Alas, Hori and the others were unable to accompany me. It's okay. Okay, let's go straight to the Alamegan Quarter. I actually have no memory of this. I have no idea who's there. I live in a prison. what's happening now, amigo? Much has changed since the first time we set foot in the city. Now we strive to preserve their freedom rather than reclaim it. But we've no time to reminisce. We mustn't keep the commander waiting. Commander Alden awaits us in the royal palace. If you would follow me. Oh, yes.
They're here, Commander.
And I, for one, am grateful that they are. Told you've been busy since our paths last crossed at the Gimlet Dark.
Oh, I forgot to join voice with Q. I completely forgot. Hello, Q. I'm sorry. Hello. It's just been a day. How are you, Miss Q? I'm good. It's very strange because seeing Gaius and Roban in the same room together. It's bizarre.
Not that I understand half of it. When the science spoke of other worlds, I'd struggled to describe what I pictured. Mayhap things would seem clearer were I to hear the tale from your own lips. But I'm afraid the situation will not afford us that luxury. I trust you two require no introduction.
We meet again, hero of Eorzea.
I have a name.
Must we repeat this ridiculous display? I pose no threat to you, though what I come to warn you of very well might.
Had he meant to do us harm, I hazard he would have kept to the shadows, and brought more than 2 companions.
It's like, everyone's like, calm down, he's not gonna hurt. It's fucking the Black Wolf police. He should be tried.
We need not pretend to be the best of friends, but I hope we can put aside our differences for the present.
As you are doubtless aware, Sir Estinian and I cooperated to rid the world of Black Rose in your absence. Our journey together took us as far as the Imperial Palace, where we witnessed Emperor Varus meet his death at Xenos' hand. Being the sole witnesses to this crime, and in no position to defend our innocence, we were then forced to flee, each pursuing his own avenue of escape.
And is always off with the head, sprightly. You need not ask.
When we were later reunited, Estinian claimed to have encountered an unfamiliar kind of machina during his flight, but to me his description seemed anything but, and upon further investigation I found that I was right. The Empire is developing a new Ultima weapon.
What, that Allagan monstrosity, created to vanquish primals, with which you yourself once thought to conquer Eorzea?
The same. In my foolishness, I sought to harness its power, and became the Ascian's pawn in so doing. But you know as well as I how that tale ended. The weapon itself, excavated from beneath this very city, was destroyed ere we could fully unravel its secrets, and that should have been the end of it. But unlikely as it sounds, the Empire's efforts to recreate it have somehow borne fruit, primarily through secret research conducted by the 7th Imperial Legion, it would seem.
Wait, the 7th was all but annihilated at Cartano, along with its legatus.
The 7th Imperial Legion was run by Nile, who we met in the coils of... No, I'm sorry, Nail, who we met in the Coils of Bahamut. They were also the 7th was also responsible for dropping Meteor onto, or Dalamod onto Eorzea to mimic Final Fantasy VII. The meteor gets dropped. The 7th Legatus drops, quote unquote, the meteor. It always matches, usually, to the previous Final Fantasies.
Indeed, few survived. The 7th, as it is now, has little in common with the Legion led by Vandanis, and its leadership has changed hands several times since. Precisely how this project has continued despite such turmoil, and under whose auspices, remains a mystery. What we do know, however, is that a number of prototypes have been produced, and that one of them is on its way to Eorzea. We attempted to stop it, but it was all we could do to slow its progress, so we resolved instead to bring you warning.
And right glad are we that you did, though it soundly dashed our hopes that tensions might ease at last.
As it is, we've begun to strengthen our presence in the Gimlet Dark, and are assembling a force to meet the coming threat. A force with you in its vanguard, I hope. Before you say anything, I know full well you have pressing concerns of your own. Your comrades remain in peril, and I would not ask you to forsake them. But the fact remains that you, and you alone, have faced the Ultima weapon, and emerged victorious. We need you. And so, when the time comes, if your comrades can spare you, I bid you lend us your strength. I've assigned an officer to await your word.
The Ascian's downfall was to be the work of my remaining days, but it was my hand that kindled these flames, and I cannot allow them to spread any further. I will do what I must to see this mistake consigned to history once and for all, even if it means begging your aid. The Fates will enjoy the irony, even as I endure the ignominy.
I too shall make for the border and offer my skills, meager though they seem in such company. Mayhap we shall meet there anon.
Though we can ill afford to ignore the coming of a new Ultima weapon, our friend's plight grows ever more precarious, and none save you can join them in the first. I only hope you are not forced to make a choice.
So this is all set up for the trial storyline, like the Four Lords and whatnot. So that's all that this was. So this, I believe, completing Trials quest will unlock the ability to do trials, which we will do after this patch, probably tomorrow or Saturday, sometime this week. As ever, the way forward is paved with difficult decisions. We can ill afford to ignore the threat of a new Ultima weapon, but with each passing day the plight of the Scions grows ever more perilous. If you cannot stay for a debriefing on the Ultima weapon, I will not stop you. I only ask that you confer with me before returning to the first. Kryl can see the steely resolve in your eyes and suspects she knows to where duty calls you. I take it you're ready to return to the first? Then I ask that you appraise the others of recent events here in the source, namely Xenos' return and the development of the new Ultima weapon. As for their bodies, you may assure them that Master Matoya and I will continue doing what we can to keep their corporeal aether stable. Safe travels, Akali. I hope to see you and the other Scions soon. will say, I'll let you have your opinion on the trial story, but I think the trial storyline that we're about to do, probably tomorrow at some point, is probably one of the worst storylines in Final Fantasy XIV. It's real bad. You've come at a most opportune time, my friend. I've made something of a breakthrough in my research on the soul, and a means to return the Scions home. I trust you too have been making good use of your time. Ill tidings from the source, you say? Then I will summon the others, that we might be appraised of the situation.
Now that we are all here, what news from the source?
A new Ultima weapon. We must count ourselves lucky that Gaius has pledged his assistance.
While this is indeed a worrying development, I think the state of the Empire as a whole greater grounds for concern. With the Emperor slain and Xenos returned, it is impossible to predict how matters will unfold in Garlemald. The Ultima weapon may be but the first of many unpleasant surprises.
The situation beareth closer observation, of that there is no doubt, and doth compound our need to return unto the source.
Then let us address that issue. Our long search for a means to see you safely home may well be nearing its conclusion. Thanks in large part to Urianger and Beklug's invaluable insight, we have succeeded in fashioning a vessel for the journey.
We set out to create a crystalline container retaining the more useful properties of white aurosite, but without its regrettable limitations. And after a good deal of trial and error, we made one. An ark for soul and mind both, that will allow your incorporeal self in its entirety to be ferried between worlds. A spirit vessel, if you will.
However?
Though the vessel is possessed of the requisite qualities to hold mind and memory, it wanteth yet for a means to receive of them. For that, we must needs imbue it with the Exarch's innate gift.
A gift that lives on only through the blood of the Allagan Emperors, which certainly does not flow within aurosite or any other crystal.
Just so, milady. The blood serveth as a conduit of sorts. In its absence, memory cannot pass from mind unto mind, nor from flesh unto crystal.
That being the case, we must either alter the process of inheritance so as to require no such thing, or determine a means by which my blood may permeate the vessel. I am hopeful that the records found within this tower will yield the knowledge we require to pursue one or the other of these avenues.
As well you should be. The Allagan's body of etherological research is extraordinary. I can scarce believe it the work of ages past. But its underlying principles are not so very different from those of my own field of study. Given time, we will find the answers we seek.
I know that you can ill afford to wait, and it pains me that I must ask you to do so. I can only reaffirm my promise to you that a solution will be found. Whatever it takes, I will see you safely home.
apologies.
I do hope you haven't come to tell us that mortal peril fast approaches.
No. I had hoped to speak with the Warrior of Darkness. But there is no need to cut short your meeting on my account. I will be waiting outside.
Why not speak in here? She knows I don't mind. Unless she didn't want to.
Perhaps I might accompany you. Though I am woefully ill-qualified to assist in the Exarch's research, I may yet be of some use to Lena.
Oh, Cat Dog. I used to watch that all the time. You want the roast beef. It may be my imagination, but Lena has been rather brisk with me of late. You don't suppose she's still upset over that mishap with the salmon fillet, do you? Never have I seen such a repository of knowledge, a stark reminder that what little we truly know of the world. Upon White Orosite's crystalline foundation, we have built not a prison, but a refuge for the soul. Would that Moonbreeder were here to see the wonders inspired by her research. To think we will not only have Xenos to contend with once we return, but a new Ultima weapon as well? Why must all our enemies insist on returning from their graves? Elfino is eager to assist Captain Lena. I must confess, while I enjoy my fair share of scholarly research, it would be good to step outside for a spot of fresh air. Now then, shall we go and speak with Lena? I suggest we hurry. Lena does not strike me as one who enjoys being made to wait. We have little time, so I will be brief. A sin eater has been sighted in Lakeland, and I ask for your assistance in slaying it. A sin eater? I had heard some few yet remained after the night had returned, but perhaps we should call the others? That will not be necessary. It is only a single sin eater, a simple task for our guard, I should think. That said, I believe fighting alongside the Warrior of Darkness would be a valuable experience for them. Peace can lead to complacency, and they gain nothing from an easy victory. But do not underestimate your foes, however harmless they may seem. My men would do well to learn from your example. Let's be about it then. Excellent. Then let us make for Fort Job. The sin eaters that remain no longer have a leader to guide them, but they are no less dangerous. They cannot be suffered to live. If you would wait here a moment, I will gather the others. You may not remember, but you have met these soldiers once before, though only in passing. Long have they awaited the opportunity to fight at your side. I was at death's door that day after the Sin Eaters attacked. If you and yours hadn't come along, I'd have likely stepped through, and I wouldn't have been alone. Your courage and selflessness is something we all aspire to. I too was there on that terrible day. My friend was transformed into a Sin Eater before my very eyes, and I had no choice but to cut her down. The thought of returning to the field, of holding a blade again, it filled me with dread. That is no way to honor her or my comrades, and so I have returned. I swear I will not let you or anyone else down on this day forward. A pleasure to meet you, miss, truly. It seems like only yesterday I watched you took flight astride an Amaro to go save the Oracle. Strange to think that Yomorian soldiers we once locked blades with are now on our side, but we will do our utmost to keep the peace here in Lakeland. We seem to be missing one. My apologies, Captain Lena. An elderly gentleman asked me that I escort him to the Claremont, and it took longer than I anticipated. I'll not begrudge a desire to help those in need, but a soldier must be punctual, especially when we play host to honored guests. It won't happen again. The name's Thaler. I'm sure you don't remember, but we met once before in the infirmary. I asked you to deliver a message to the Exarch and the Warrior of Darkness. Little did I know I was already talking to her. Don't give up, don't give in. I keep those words close to my heart, and the boundless, beautiful skies above serve as a reminder of their importance. My friend got to see the knight's return shortly before he passed. He left this world with a smile, satisfied with a glimpse of what was to come. But there are countless others who weren't so fortunate. They gave their lives with the promise of a future they'll never know, and so it falls to us to do everything we can to fulfill that promise. No matter what happens, we won't give up, and we won't give in. Your heroism has inspired all of our guardsmen in such the same manner. Our scouts in the northern staging point have not had the pleasure of meeting you in person. Let us not keep them waiting. Oh, I think this is a two-seater. Do you want to ride on it? Actually, I don't know if this is a two-seater. I feel like it should be. And we go forward and back, and we go forward and back, and we go forward. It's such a cool mount.
Did you slay this eater? Your orders were to await the main force before engaging.
No, Captain. It wasn't us, I swear it. A man came out of nowhere and cut it down before we knew what was happening.
By himself? Certainly it is no light warden, but nevertheless.
It's true. Felled it with a single swing of his axe he did. I've never seen anything like it. So I says to him, "Who are you, the warrior of bleeding darkness?" And he says, "No, I'm a warrior of light." And that was it. Buggered off as quick as he came.
A warrior of light?
Why would someone go around calling himself that, though? It was those bastards who caused the flood. I mean, if you were going to pretend to be anyone, it'd be her. The warrior of darkness.
Eh? Oh, I didn't know. It's an honor.
Since the Eater is no longer a threat, our work here is done. Return to your posts.
I had hoped to fight at your side today. But I'll continue to follow your example, and may we meet again.
I apologize for the wasted journey. It seems I overestimated the threat. As for this warrior of light, I do not know who would be brazen enough to take that mantle for his own. Whatever it may once have meant, it is forever tainted by the association with the Flood. The Exarch told me the truth of Ardbert and his comrades' deeds, and I am aware they played some part in your own triumph. But to most, they are synonymous with the calamity that befell this world. Still, if this man is minded to destroy Sin Eaters, I may forgive him his unfortunate choice of alias. But that is neither here nor there. I thank you for accompanying me.
With that concluded, shall we return to the Crystarium? There is a proposal I should like to make.
Forgive me. There is one more thing. A personal concern of mine. I had hoped you might have a moment to speak privately.
Take your time. I shall go on ahead.
I will not mince words. This matter concerns the Exarch. Though his countenance belies his age, his demeanor never has. He has seen more than any man should and grown ever more weary with time. But I see I give the wrong impression. While it is true he attempted to open a letter with a salmon fillet the other evening, we are not here because I suspect his mind is deteriorating. Nor do I believe him to be so maddeningly unconcerned by the prospect of his own death as he once was. Indeed, the opposite is true. It is for this reason that I seek your advice. Since he returned from the Tempest, the Exarch is not as he was. He seems a different man, a younger man. I know not the details of his research, but when I saw him at work recently, there was a glint in his eye that I had never seen before. He looked happy. It was as if he had peered into the future and for the first time found joy there. Though it gladdens me to see him thus, I wonder if I should not keep my distance. I fear that my presence will only anchor him to the past, remind him of all the pain that came before.
Anchors keep us where we have chosen to be.
Is that so? Then perhaps we might remain as we were. As we have always been. What a relief. In that case, I will have to speak with him about the amount of time he is spending at work. This research is important, I know, but if he refuses to consider his own health, I will have to consider it for him.
Her mind at ease, Lena is ready to return to her duties. I will not keep you. You and your comrades have much to discuss. I will see the others back to their posts. Oh, I guess I should have gone to the gate. Oh well. adventurer calling himself a warrior of light. Why would anyone tie themselves to the legacy of individuals held in such a low regard in the first? Warriors of light, harbingers of the flood, and all the world's woes. That this wanderer would so boldly claim their title is most curious indeed. 'Tis strange to think how heroes so beloved by the people could be brought so low in so short a time. Oh, Stola. That's like you. Elfino tells me a warrior of light has slain the Sin Eater. Quite frankly, I'm not sure what to make of this. Yes, I was hoping to speak with you about... On second thought, never mind. It would be rude of me to pry. The others were quite shocked to hear of what we found in Lakeland, but now that you're here, there is a proposal I should like to make. I've been spending a great deal of time in the Cabinet of Curiosity, and of late I have noted more and more people pursuing books of history, the years leading up to the Flood in particular. I suspect they wish to know more about the Warriors of Light, as well they should, but nearly everything I've come across describes them as Sin Eaters or worse. Regardless of whether or not this Warrior of Light is who they claim to be, I worry that their sudden appearance, in conjunction with this renewed interest in their predecessors, may lead to growing unrest and fear. If the people of the Crystarium seek the truth, I say we give it to them. I too can attest to the falsehoods found within full many of the Cabinet's tomes, with nary a mention of the noble deeds of Arbert and his comrades. To be fair, they bear some responsibility for the Flood, but when the tale is told again and again over the course of a century, I'm not surprised to see their roles distorted and them painted as villains. Were it not for the records stored within the Crystal Tower, I would have had no reason to question the narrative. Unfortunately, the knowledge was of no use, for when I arrived here in the first, their reputation had already been irreparably tarnished. That said, there still remain those who worked tirelessly to defend their good name in those early days following the Flood. Considering all the good they had done, I find it a wonder they needed defending at all. They brought to justice the man who misused my knowledge to bring about the fall of Vobert, and that such heroes could be spoken of in the same breath as Sin Eaters is absurd. Under normal circumstances, I would agree, but as time passed, those who knew firsthand of their deeds dwindled. In the end, only the one truth remained, that they were the cause of the Flood. With the world on the brink of oblivion, it was all too easy for the Warriors of Light to become villains, deserving only of resentment and hate. At that point, the truth mattered little. It would not change their lot. Thanks to all of you, however, their lot has changed, and now they may heed the long-forgotten truth. You claimed it was Ardbert who helped you overcome Epid Sulk, correct? Such a revelation would do well to sway the hearts of those who knew them only as a villain. I have shared this with a select few, but one and all must be told of his sacrifice. To that end, I would say we proceed with Elfino's plan. We call together the people of the Crystarium and recount to them the true tale of the Warriors of Light and the Flood that followed their wake. Well, what say you, Akali? Spread the word, I say. Then we're all of one mind on the matter. Good. Exec, might I ask you to continue working with Backlog on our means of returning home? The rest of us will see to gathering the people of the Crystarium in the Etc. We have to reach out to anyone and everyone who might be willing to lend an ear. With any luck, word will spread, and more will accompany them. There can be no darkness without light, and so it was that Ardbert was there in the hour of need. The people must be told. I've seen a great many and terrible things in my long life, as has the Exarch, no doubt. Of man I can say this: his memory is short, his heart fickle. Let us pray that your words reach him. see. Well, well, to what do I owe the pleasure? Whatever it is, I must ask that you be brief. With the night return, visitors have been flocking to the Crystarium, and I find myself too busy by half. I don't mind it, though. Seeing the stairs so full of life and excitement, one can almost forget the flood ever happened. The Warriors of Light? Yes, the Exarch has mentioned them before, but everyone knows them now as the Cardinal Virtues. Or are you suggesting there's more to it than that? Well, you've yet to steer us wrong. I'm willing to hear what you have to say. Come to browse wares in the market, have you? Well, I can guarantee you'll have no trouble finding what you need, whatever it may be. Under Yulmor's new leadership, trade has never been more prosperous. Word is that fellow from Daedalus Stoneworks has taken over as mayor. Did he really? Little wonder business is booming the way it is. I imagine it won't be long before all of Nordred reaps the benefits, but you've not come to talk about the market. Something on your mind? I see. The Exarch did mention they had something to do with your returning the night to Norford. Alright, consider my interest piqued. Somebody up here. Oh no, it's the, I guess it is up here. No, it is the hospital. Not up. Cully, my, what a wonderful surprise. Though I hope being here doesn't mean someone's been hurt. Thanks to you, I've had far fewer patients coming through my door as of late, which is a shame, come to think of it. I've had fewer opportunities to test my new medicines. I jest, of course. It's actually been quite pleasant to have a few moments to myself now and then. The truth about the Warriors of Light, but the Exarch has already spoken with me about them. Well, if there's more to the tale, I would very much like to hear it. No, this can't be. Surely there's at least one book here that does not cast the Warriors of Light and their deeds in such a negative light. Oh, Kali, forgive me. The Cabinet of Curiosity has been bustling with visitors as of late, but I fear our repository lacks for the knowledge they seek. The people wish to know the truth of the flood, of the Warriors of Light. I have searched high and low, but alas, every account portrays them as no better than sin-eaters, abominations worthy only of scorn and resentment. I know they were not always judged so harshly, yet I can find no proof, and I dare call myself a librarian. You would address the people and tell them the truth of the Warriors of Light? Of the flood? How wonderful! You have regaled me with the tale once before, but I should love to hear it again. Oh, and you may be assured I will not come alone. For supporting memes back in the meme economy. Well, what a coincidence. I was just reading over a letter I received from a girl not long ago. He says a visitor from the Crystarium found him at the bottom of the ocean, and that she inspired him to reach new artistic heights. Well, I can only think of one person capable of both feats, though I'd say the letter is far more impressive. To think of fate could bring the two of you together in such a place. I'm sorry, you mean the Exarch didn't tell us the whole story of the Warriors of Light? Well, whatever he's left unsaid, I'm all ears. Thank you for the sippy. I will take that in just a second. Tis good to see the people of the Crystarium so eager to learn the truth. And with this newfound knowledge of the past, they will at last be able to look to the future with eyes unclouded. Those I spoke with at the orchard and the rookery were quite keen to hear what we have to say, for as much hope as they have for the future, the scars of the past weigh heavy on them still. There you are. Between the four of us, I dare say we've swept the Crystarium from top to bottom. Now we need but wait for the people to gather. Help.
Yes, this looks to be nearly everyone. Let us begin, shall we? Though I am usually the first to hold forth at such events, I think on this occasion that honor should fall to you.
They would be more inclined to take the word of the Warrior of Darkness.
Indeed. In light of the subject matter, who better than thee to speak these truths?
God, yeah, you don't have to say things.
Wicked White. The Warriors of Light did all that?
So they never... I mean, they only ever wanted to help. And when everything they'd done turned to ash, they still carried on.
They gave everything to stop the flood. First their lives, then their souls. And they managed it too, in the end. They saved us. And we cursed their names.
This should go a long way towards clearing the air. Impossible.
You can see him too.
I definitely see something. You don't think it's a ghost, do you?
Nay. Yonder standeth no bloodless apparition, but a warrior of light and darkness both.
Ardbert.
What in the world?
It's you! The one who slew the Eater!
That it should be the Warrior of Darkness who brought the truth to light. You've saved me a fair bit of time, though I have a few words of my own to say, if I may.
Ghosts are spooky.
People of the Crystarium! I am Ardbert, one of those you know as a Warrior of Light.
That's impossible. You should be dead.
Aye, that I should. But as the world has been given new life, so too have I. I know not why I, and I alone, have been gifted this chance. But I do know this. Only by the will of the star itself could such a miracle come to pass.
We go together. Boom.
The hero who stands before you now, the Warrior of Darkness, is not of this world. And the day will come when she must return to her home. But this land is our home. And if it is to remain so, now and forevermore, it is we who must protect it. The time to rely on saviors from afar has passed. It is you who must rise. You who must become the new Warriors of Light.
What? Us? Warriors of Light?
None of us were born heroes, my friend. I was only ever a man with a thirst for adventure. But wherever my journeys took me, I was invariably confronted with the same choice. To lend what aid I could to those in need, or not. And I always chose the former. Any one of you could do the same. All you need is the will to help your fellow man, and the resolve to see it through.
From thine own lips did we learn of Ardbert's fate, and by thy countenance I gather thou art not inclined to recant thy testimony. Yet whosoever this man may be, his words hold truth and resonate with the citizenry besides. For us to voice our doubts here and now would serve but to sow disquiet. 'Twere better we retired unto the ocular and there discuss this matter in private.
Go. I will stay here and watch.
Literally everything Emmett Silk ever said in Shadowbringers. Man's got a point.
So, that is a Warrior of Light of the First. I've not had the pleasure of making his acquaintance, but as you all seem to be in agreement, I gather this is no simple case of mistaken identity.
As far as I was able to discern, that was indeed Ardbert. It has been a long time, but not that long. Could he truly have been resurrected as he claims?
It looks like him and sounds like him, but it isn't him.
Ardbert did entrust his very soul unto thee. I see no reason to question thy judgment.
Nor I. To my eyes, your ether burns as brightly as the day you slew Emmett Selk. That is proof that he is with you still.
Yet that which standeth now before the people is far more than a passing imitation. I am reminded of the cardinal virtues, though a sin-eater he is not. Which leaveth but one plausible explanation.
That he is an Ascian.
Given their fondness for posthumous possession, I would have to agree. From what I understand, the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in Yulmore by those whom they had aided in life. At the time, some few still remembered them as heroes. Needless to say, 4 of them were subsequently exhumed to serve as the virtues. And if one knew where to look, Ardbert too would not have been difficult to find.
Assuming then that this is indeed the work of an Ascian, my mind inevitably turns to the last remaining paragon to survive the Sundering.
Elidibus. That Xenos hath reclaimed his own flesh is known. Thus evicted from his borrowed form, and cognizant no doubt of Emmett Selk's failure here in the first, 'tis quite possible the emissary chose Ardbert for his next vessel.
Inhabiting the flesh of the fallen? My, that is unsavory. And they do this often, you say?
Verily, for they possess no corporeal forms of their own. In what one may term their natural state, none save those gifted with the echo can perceive them. Indeed, when Elidibus intruded upon the waking sands, his presence did go unmarked by all save Minfilia and the Warrior of Light.
God, this was forever ago.
On that occasion, I myself remained ignorant of his coming until after his departure. It was only at a later juncture, when he deigned to appear before me in borrowed flesh, that I was finally able to take the measure of him. In such puppetry do the Ascians engage when they seek to influence the course of history.
And they have gained much by it. Emmett Selk single-handedly built the Garlean Empire in this manner, while the Hebrea came close to conquering Eorzea, having taken possession of Thancred's living body.
Yet it must needs be noted that the Ascians cannot avail themselves of all mortal vessels. For were they able to do so, none would serve as a better pawn than our own redoubtable champion. Mayhap the blessing of light shieldeth Hydaelyn's chosen from Ascian influence. Or mayhap other forces are at work. We cannot say for certain.
Whatever the reason, I hope it holds true. I dare not contemplate what might come to pass otherwise.
Is it not peculiar, then, that Ardbert's mortal remains should be susceptible, given that he was once a warrior of light? Or did the final departure of his soul make it possible, perhaps? Regardless, to hear an Ascian use him to call forth new warriors of light boggles the mind.
Elidibus hath ever been an enigma, his ostensible purpose being to preserve the balance between light and dark.
No, he cleaned it up. He peeled Ardbert. He shaved him. He made it look nice and fresh.
When he made overtures towards me, however, I was afforded a glimpse behind the mask of the self-appointed emissary. I shall not defend mine actions, undertaken in pursuit of a better understanding of our foe as either wise or prudent. Nevertheless, what little I did glean may now prove useful.
He's so tiny. Elidibus has always been so small.
Elidibus possesseth a subtle mind, practiced in the art of manipulation.
He did, he shaved him.
That he coaxed this star's most valiant heroes as far as the source with naught save half-truths is no trifling feat.
He peeled the boy. Freshly peeled.
And now I believe he doth employ his skills once more to some as yet unknown end. Though naught is certain, should my suspicions prove true, we shall have need of all our wits if we are to uncover and thereafter thwart his plot.
Agreed. 'Tis plain that simply speaking out against him will not avail us. At best, it would only serve to confuse the people. And I would hesitate to do anything which might tarnish Ardbert's reputation once more, nor yours by association. That being the case, it may be wise to keep a covert eye on this Ardbert's movements, as we attempt to discern his purpose and how best to mitigate his influence.
His performance appears to have concluded. What now? Go back out and follow him?
'Twould appear Master Alphino already hath pursuit in mind, and I suspect one pair of eyes shall better serve our cause than half a dozen. Let the rest of us maintain an inconspicuous distance, for the present at least.
We must not act until Ardbert hath made his plans. 'Twould be folly to proclaim him false at this juncture. We are a hair's breadth from defeat when we faced them at Silk, and now we must contend with yet another Ascian. We must tread carefully. What a despicable practice incorporating corpses. Such depravity eclipses any horrors I witnessed in the age of Bobert. They must be stopped. With furrowed brow, the Crystal Exarch deliberates your next move. You did well to dispel the falsehood surrounding the Warrior of Light and their actions prior to the Flood, though I must say the reappearance of Ardbert, or rather, one who appropriated his identity, was a rather curious development. He is an impostor, of that there is no doubt, but to the masses he will appear as a hero returned from the grave. After the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in Yulmore, the people prayed fervently for the gods to deliver them from their plight. Pray that these fallen heroes be born again for their sacrifices. What bitter irony. I, for one, would like to know why Ardbert urged the people to become Warriors of Light themselves. Ere we can take action, we must needs ascertain his intent. Let us pray that Master Alphino returneth soon with the most essential knowledge. For now, I think it best to apprise Thancred and Reen of our efforts. When we do confront Ardbert, we shall no doubt have need of their strength. Agreed. I think it prudent we take all measures to prepare for what's to come. Becklug and I will continue our research on how we might improve the spirit vessel, that it might one day carry you home. Then I think it is time I return to the Great Wood. Until now, everything we have learned of the Ascians has been handed to us at their leisure, but that was one of Emmett Selk's unique failings. I have no reason to think Elidibus will be as forthcoming. Fortunately, I recently received word from Vanau that heretofore unexplored chambers have been discovered deep within the Katana Ravel. Elmet believes the relics within tell of a great calamity that befell an ancient civilization, that of the Ascians, perhaps. They may lead us to the truths we seek. Would you care for company? I wouldn't dream of going without you. When you are ready, make for Fanau. Elmet and her sisters will be expecting us. Then let us be about our tasks. Pray give my regard to the V's. Can you fly in Rantika? Me either. Let us pray these new ruins are not as unwelcoming as the last. Welcome, allies of Ranka. We have accomplished much since you last came. With the Light Warden dead and its minions dispersed, we have at last reclaimed our hunting grounds near Ratika Falls. It was there that we discovered more ruins. Although we ran afoul of no traps while exploring its halls, we determined that the innermost chambers were warded by magic. We are all in agreement. Before any investigation could proceed, you should be summoned. We are grateful that you did. From what you have told me, I strongly suspect that the wisdom my comrades and I seek can be found within. This wisdom could prove invaluable, for we may soon face a foe whose greatest asset is our ignorance. I see. Then it is good that you have come, for Ronka was once home to the greatest of weapons, knowledge and understanding. And it is our duty to ensure that you and yours do not want for either. That said, we must proceed with caution. To have reached the inner chambers unmolested suggests a more formidable deterrent yet lies within. Come now, surely any threat sleeping within the ruins pale in comparison to those we have faced thus far. This is not a game, sister. You should not be so eager to run headlong into danger. Oh, and who was pining for the return of our allies that we might venture into the ruins, clutching her staff at night, wishing it were? You promised not to tell. Then I suggest we be going. Get back here! Remind me exactly how old you and your oh, okay. How old are you and your sisters? At second thought, perhaps it's better not to know. Pray you forgive their overzealous nature. None save we three have been privileged to escort you and yours into the ruins and bear witness to its secrets. Their hearts now burn with a curiosity that is not easily sated. Please, you needn't apologize. As a seeker of knowledge myself, I understand full well their enthusiasm, and if not for your subtlest efforts to protect the ruins, we would not be afforded this opportunity. Speaking of which, I believe I have kept you away from the ruins long enough. Come, let us make for the Katana Ravel. Oh, it's nighttime, so no Lahi. You don't like Lahi? Why do you hate Lahi? That's not a terrible video. That's not a terrible video, it's a masterpiece. And Soken sang his heart out for us. Even Emmett Selleck was taken aback to find a mural illustrating the final days in these ruins. What other surprises do you suppose yet lie within? I feel oddly ill-equipped to venture inside, but with you here, I'm sure things will work out. It is most strange for these halls to be left unguarded. Have care when breaking the seal on the chamber door. Danger surely awaits us on the other side. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view the scenes in their entirety. I got 40 minutes. God only knows if that is enough time. It didn't say several scenes, just scenes. Yeah, do you know Lahi? Q doesn't like that video.
Come. Our new discoveries are to be found this way.
Q has notoriously bad taste, though. I think it would be great. It's so funny.
The people of Ronka are known to have venerated animals, but these features do not match those of any indigenous species. This is no common beast. Though that much is plain from its proportions.
Lifelike, is it not? One could almost imagine it breathed. Why you... Ugh.
This owl, by contrast, seems no different from the others we've seen.
The sealed door lies ahead. As you see, one statue is missing. I expect we are meant to replace it as before.
Too simple. There will be some additional defense mechanism. Just a moment. There are words carved into the stone. He who would disturb a hero's deserved slumber shall instead waken the beast and know his folly. Wait! Don't!
What? But I only... What is happening? Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, it lives!
Why am I not surprised? Prepare yourselves.
Snatched. It's triple triad time. I have no memory. You trespass mortal upon sacred ground, in retribution for souls I have bound. Yet to heroes proven learned and wise, a comrade's soul shall be their prize. If you would see theirs set free, answer me these riddles three. Deft of paw, with kin do I vie, though sought apart, bitterment of hold, efforts descry. What am I? What? Deft of paw, with kin do I vie, though sought apart. I don't remember. Is it the coral? Deft of paw? Rest in pieces. With fearsome fang I travel with pack. Together we find harmony, and thus for peace our land does not lack. What am I? I'm sorry. Where's Wolf? Oh woo! Oh woo! On my belly do I crawl, by my strength does prosperity reign within our hall. What am I? Snake. Snake. Desire you that which I yet came, then we shall play another game. Test of mind and memory, choose wisely, and you all may yet go free. No. Twixt these tailments hide friend and foe, choose your companions well, or sorrow no. Must we choose carefully? Oh, okay. Istona. Comrades are assembled together at last. Yet there still remains one trial you must pass. If you would glean the knowledge enshrined in this earth, I would first take measure of your worth. One worthy as she who the Rokans extolled must be strong of mind, body, and soul. Such is life. Better move your star. That's what I fucking thought. She will not move again, though.
this, and that, and this!
Big slappies.
Twould seem the magics have returned us. How polite. Now, what have we learned?
Nothing.
Ah, we were bound to run into a living statue eventually. And now we can open the door.
Nothing.
He who would disturb a hero's deserved slumber. A tomb, just as I thought. Befitting a hero.
She is Vis. Could it be the Archmage Tiuna? A legendary hero of Ronka, as you surmised. The tales tell of how she smote entire armies with a single incantation. So potent was her spellcraft, though she ever fought in the name of peace.
I thought them no more than tales. To think she really existed.
Well, I for one always believed.
I wonder. By the light of fallen stars, great power awakens.
Tiuna was not only a master of spellcraft. It is said she could see truths long lost and hear the voices of men's hearts.
Naught less than the echo. In which case, none of this is mere coincidence. A shower of stars setting the sky aflame. And in both this world and the Source, we find individuals within whom a mysterious power awakened at the sight. We can never unpick the why of it. Now, however, I believe we might.
This was a very, very long time ago, Miss Q. so you probably don't remember. The first time we speak to Heidelin, we are kind of like shrouded, and above us is meteors raining down from on high. The very first time we speak to Heidelin. Yeah.
Does the scene depicted here not resemble the one we saw when we first ventured into the Katana Ravel? Moreover, does it not recall that which Emmett Selk invited us to witness in Amarot? The final days. If, as the XIV's research suggests, soul and mind share a fragile yet profound bond, might it not be possible for an event to leave such a deep imprint upon the soul that it could be perceived eons later, given a suitable trigger? The echo defies explanation by conventional etherological theory, or shall we say modern etherological theory. But if it is a power that once belonged to the ancients, to souls yet undivided, it would seem I have entered the realm of pure speculation, and I call myself a scholar. I shall refrain from making any further wild claims until such time as I have evidence. Still, I cannot choose but be reminded of our experience in Amarot.
And then you must recall Emmett Selk's dying request.
Remember us.
History is learned, not lived. We have always protected the tales of Ronka, just as we have protected this place. But we are mindful of what our mothers taught us. We see the past through our own eyes, and speak of it with our own words. Thus do we come to understand it in our own way. But this is not the same as remembering.
Your mothers were wise. Though we witnessed the final days, our impressions cannot fail to be colored by our own experiences and expectations. Those who lived through it would have perceived the event quite differently. We must bear in mind that it is no simple matter to keep the truth alive, or it will die with Emmett Selk and his kin. But we have disturbed Tuna long enough. Fana will serve similarly well as a venue for our contemplations.
We've learned nothing of the Ascians, but the potential link between the Echo and preternatural star showers is intriguing. By a pensive expression, I take it the tome has given you much to think about. That as well. In time, the knowledge will lead to understanding, and thus arm you for what is to come. Before you leave, however, I would speak again of the teachings of our forebears, of history learned, not lived. The legend of Tiana and her exploits has been told countless times over the centuries, yet as it is handed from one generation to the next, the story changes. With each telling of the tale, there are new flourishes, details changed or lost. We can never truly know how she lived, for we were not there to see it. But we are here now to bear witness to your life. We have seen the change you have wrought, the echoes that will endure long after you are gone. And though it will too change in time, I swear to you, we shall do our best to preserve your story. I hope you'll forgive me if I didn't make an oath of my own, but I think it goes without saying that we can never misspeak of your heroism. Perish the thought! So long as we are here, there are none among the V's who will not know of you and all you have done for Norvrent. We are not deserving of such reverence, but we are grateful all the same. You can be certain that we will have our own tales to tell of all the great guardians of Raktika and of the ruins of Ronka. I pray your safe travels then. As ever, we shall await your return with open arms. By all rights, you should be departing for the Crystarium. Y'shtola does not seem ready to return. Although we learned aught of the Asians, the insight we gained into the Echo has made our trip worthwhile. Before I return to the Crystarium, however, there is a small matter I would attend to in Slitherbow. Might I trouble you to come with me? Thank you. After we arrive, we should have a brief word with Runar. Runar appears to be in characteristically high spirits. Akali, it is good to see you. You arrived at the most opportune time. I was preparing a pot of my famous stew. Come, I will ready a place for you. I am sorry, Runar, but we haven't the... Please, I insist, it will only take a minute. My apologies, Akali. It seems our return to the Crystarium will be delayed. But perhaps only for a bit, if you assist me with my work. I say work, but it is rather more of a chore. I must clean my chambers here in Slitherbow from top to bottom. If you would be so kind as to go and fetch a broom from Asgeir, we might finish before Runar is done cooking. And Runar loves Y'shtola so much. Oh no! A broom from Master Matoya? I can't imagine why she would have need of such a thing, but here you are. It is old but sturdy, and sure to suffice. Are you getting into a Twitter fight? Yeah, I trust Asgeir was able to find a broom for us. Well worn. Good, this will prove difficult otherwise. Though I must say, I think I did rather well for not having a broom thus far. Yes, well, you weren't buried beneath a veritable avalanche of books when you entered, were you? Right. Anyway, it's time I finished cleaning with the help of that broom. Oh man, Matoya's theme will always make me feel some kind of way. You didn't honestly think I did it the old-fashioned way. That broom is more than capable of sweeping by itself. Or rather, it will be. Ahem. Time to rise, to swish and sweep. A tidy chamber you must keep. To this task you shall be bound, until no death is to be found. Swish, swish, oh. I know, right? In this one particular respect, I've no objections to following in Master Matoya's footsteps. In future, I may need you to remind me the pursuit of knowledge does not preclude other equally important duties, such as maintaining clean quarters for said pursuit. Don't eavesdrop, Runar. I will dearly miss this place. these people. Master Matoya, pardon the interruption, but the stew is ready. Oh, Runa. Is something troubling you? You've been rather quiet. No, everything is fine, I assure you. It has been a long day is all. I see. Y'shtola, thank goodness you're still here. Elfino, I thought you were following Ardbert. I was, though I'm sad to say I lost track of him shortly after entering these woods. He seems determined to traverse every elm of Northrend in his quest to spread the truth of the Warriors of Light and the Flood. And it seems news of your address at the Crystarium precedes him in every destination, making his task all the more simple. It remains to be seen what end he encourages the people to become Warriors of Light themselves. But there is no denying that his words have struck a chord with many. Well, we all agree this is just another Ascian ploy, yes? That they've commandeered corpses before, and to no good end. I see no reason to think this time is any different, especially when it's that of a fallen warrior of light. I doubt we'll learn more if we remain a step behind. His next destination, in all likelihood, Slitherbow. Alisaie, are you certain you should be here? If you're concerned about Halric and the others, you needn't be. The treatment is going well, but progress is slow and exhausting for all of us. The best thing I can do now is let them rest. So, I believe we were about to discuss how to arrange a meeting with our would-be Warrior of Light. Before visiting any towns or villages, Ardbert would hunt down and slay a nearby Sin-Eater to earn the locals' trust. Our best chance of getting ahead of him is to find one before he does. Thankfully, Thancred and Reen are returned from the empty and have taken up the search. Reen believeth one may lurk beneath the boughs of the woven oath. That is where we will start our search. Master Matoya! A warm bowl of stew will be awaiting your return. I look forward to it. I know! He loves her. Not being able to fly in Rantika. Can't think of anything more miserable other than flying in Rantika. It's an absolute nightmare, because you see this big, gap. You can't just fly over this gap, and because of the trees, there's, it's a lower ceiling than normal. So they're I'll move my map. So, you can kind of fly this way, but it's really, really bothersome. So what you do is the only way, if you wanted to fly from Slitherbow to Fenmow, you could either go through all the caves and go around this way, or you fly this way, and there is a path. It's narrow, but you can fly from here to there. But you can't cross any other way. I can sense no other teenagers in the area. I hope this means Ardbert will be coming this way soon.
If you were hoping to vent your frustrations on our Issa friend here, I can only apologize.
Few as they are now, it took us no time at all to track it down.
That suits our purpose perfectly. Now we need only wait for Ardbert to arrive.
Weren't you two meant to be attending to the empty?
We were, and are, but we can hardly ignore the rest of the world, so we thought we might see how things were coming along. From what we can gather, the answer is strangely.
Right now, we think we can do more good here.
It is heartening to have all present.
Indeed. We will be glad of the additional hands should matters escalate.
Our quarry is come.
It cometh.
Huh. It seems I've lost this particular race. Although I suppose it's only fair. When we first met, it was I who outpaced you. Ravana, was it? But where are my manners? I wouldn't be here were it not for you, and I have yet to say a word of thanks.
It's so awkward. I'm gonna extend a friendly fist. Come on.
I'm giving you trouble? You should have it examined.
Oh, Elidibus. Elidibus, please. Indeed, Ardbert. Elidibus doesn't know what a fist bump is.
Very well. Let us forego this pretense. After all, it was never you that I needed to deceive. Yes, it is I, Elidibus. Through your time in Emet-Selk's imitation of our home, I dare say you have gained a better understanding of my role since last we met. Not that it matters.
We understand your role, emissary, but not your goal. What is it that you seek to achieve?
I seek to enact the will of the Convocation, of course. If it helps you to think of me as but another Ascian, no different in nature or purpose from the rest, you are welcome to do so.
Once, I would have said your goal was destruction alone. Now I understand that you fight for something you love, just as we do. Yet though we seem doomed to clash, I bid you consider Emet-Selk's final words. Remember that we once lived, he said. Had he not seen some glimmer of hope in our kind, I do not believe he would have spoken thus.
None better understood your plight than he. His words must surely be worthy of your consideration.
Emet-Selk. How very unlike you to err so gravely. That one should stray at the end of so onerous a path is understandable. But I had thought you above such weakness. Mayhap you thought the same. Would that I had been present to offer correction. But I shall do so now, as is my duty, and return all to its proper course. As for you, look at yourselves. Look at your history. Look back 100 short years to how your greatest warriors were undone. And now, at but a word from me, you raise your hands in answer like the puppets you are. Naught has changed. You fail, and you fail, and you learn nothing. Allow that which is most important to slip through your fumbling fingers like so many grains of sand, again and again and again, and you would remember us. You do forget yourselves. There is no common ground to be found between you and I, nor do I require any. I have my duty.
Wait!
Well, we have confirmed the identity of our foe at least, and 'tis safe to say his objective is the rejoining.
But we still have no idea how playing the part of a warrior of light will further his cause, nor why he would spur others to do the same.
Another visit to the Tempest may shed some light upon these mysteries. Whether we are to exchange words or blows with Elidibus at our next meeting, the fact remains, we know too little. Ere our paths cross again, I would learn more of the world that once was, and of Elidibus himself. In this, we would be best served going directly to his home, much as Emmett Selk came to ours.
Though I see the wisdom in thy suggestion, the Amarot we visited is but a phantom born of Emmett Selk's memory. I fear it will teach us little that we do not already know.
I quite agree. Yet the ruins of the actual city remain unexplored. Given the vastness of the Tempest, I should not be surprised were there more such structures like to those in which the Ondo reside.
If there is aught to be learned, I want to know.
A woman after my own heart.
Assuming we are all in agreement, then I suggest we first pay a visit to the Ondo. If anyone can tell us where more ruins are to be found, it is them.
You want stew. I think we will start this quest, but I do not believe we will finish it. We don't actually want to do the Tempest stuff today. We do not have enough time. Would that I had found the words to deny Elidibus. We are so much more than he believes us to be, and yet... Am I the only one who sees the irony in Ardbert calling us puppets? I hate to leave him like that. Gods, they can't even let a man rest in peace. Thangred told me what Lahabrea did to him. I can't imagine how he's feeling right now. Disdain and obfuscation. What is thy true design, emissary? Y'shtola would have you depart for the Tempest without delay. Belvano has the right of it, Let us pay a visit to the Ondo. We should speak with Tolshus Ath first. As chieftain, he is doubtless privy to a great many secrets. And just so that we're not leaving them out in the middle of the forest. Alright, so we will do Tempest stuff tomorrow. Do I want to do anything with my last 5 minutes? Yeah, you can get 4 raffle tickets with that. You can't get any raffle tickets, Q. You're a moderator! You can't have tickets! You can't win the prize, that'll look so shady. Okay, I thought you were absolutely... I was like, if you wanna win a doll next month so badly, make it yourself. You actually have the doll. Yeah, it's like you already have yours. Yeah, you put her in your Stola's outfit. Because you didn't know any better. I know, Sue and Sprightly have a lot. They do engage in chat. I need to go too. Raffle has been pushed back to December 2nd because Shadowbringers has been pushed back. So you do have 2 more weeks to collect stars. It'll be 5,000 stars per ticket. And I'll get that all figured out. Which means the Endwalker one is probably going to... The one for the actual doll is actually going to be a little bit shorter now. Because I wanted to do that raffle on, like, New Year's. I have a big New Year's thing. But yes, thank you so much for being here. We will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. EST for more Final Fantasy XIV. There will be no Darkest Dungeon stream at 2 p.m. because I am tired of that game. And I am done with it. So the new Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday game will start next week, and that will be Spiritfarer, which I'm very, very excited to play. Friday will be Eureka, and then Saturday and Sunday more story stuff with Miss Q. So, thank you so very, very much for being here. I appreciate it so very, very much. You may have noticed, and you may just see it, we have new banners, both on Twitter, no, not Twitter, yes, Twitter, and on the channel. Those were done by a very, very talented artist. She is linked below in my About page, but it's Owlboros Art on Twitter. She's very talented, and she has made some of the icons that we have here. Which ones are hers? The beans and the hypes, and the secret angry that nobody has, just me. So those were all done by her, as well as the new banner art and channel art. So go check her out and give her lots of love because she's very, very, very talented. But otherwise, have a very lovely night, and I hope to see you all soon. Goodbye and good night. That guitar is so bad in my ear. Hold on. I'm going. Goodbye and good night.